Hey, if you're catching the replay, make sure you hashtag replay. Give us a few minutes. It's about 10 till 7, and I will actually go live talking at 7 o'clock. So I'm glad you're here, and go grab your protein drink and make sure you hashtag replay. Good morning. I'm early. I am early. I just decided to get here a little early because today's kind of a crazy day. And I didn't know if I needed to get off here early. But just because I get here early doesn't mean that I'm going to get off early, right? Because I start talking and then I can't shut up. How are y'all this morning? Yeah, I'm 10 minutes early. Hang on, my screen's kind of... I need to wipe my screen off. You know, I was expecting no one to be here this morning. I was like, everybody's snuggled up in bed. Ooh, banana. You know what? I bought a banana. I bought a banana protein shake to make. It's more of a... I think it's more of a smoothie, and then you put protein in it. But I bought 2 of them for Shane and I. So I got my nasty, my pop. This strawberry. If y'all hear a bear in my bedroom, just ignore the bear, okay? But this strawberry lemonade, I just don't like it. But I won't buy it again. But I'm forcing myself to drink it because I paid a lot of money for it. But from this point on, I will be ordering from Walmart the watermelon. Look, I'm in my alpaca pajamas. I got the... Well, I'm gonna wait till 7 o'clock, but I have to tell y'all something. I feel like I have been... I gotta sneeze. Don't you hate when you have to sneeze? I gotta sneeze. I'll tell you in a minute. I'm gonna wait. Jeez, Landon, you're freezing. Debbie, so it is freezing outside too. Well, I say that I hadn't even been outside, so I don't know why I'm telling you that it's freezing outside because I've not been out there. My nose is better. I think I'm not sure, but you know how this little piece in your glasses, whatever this is called, is causing, like, I can tell my nose is bigger because I'm getting really bad indentions right here and it hurts. So I think my nose is bigger than it normally is. But the red glasses really are tight. And I tried to go get them adjusted a little bit, and they can't. Just to let y'all know, this part cannot be adjusted. Only this can be adjusted. So I'm like, I paid $500 for glasses, and now they're too tight. Yeah, Shane's gonna kill me. But it's better. It doesn't hurt. It's still a little sore right here, but I don't have black eyes anymore. But you see how this is a little white? I don't know if y'all can tell. Anyway. We have 5 minutes. Yeah. And you know, like, you go to the glasses place and you try them on for like 0.2 seconds, and you're just, all you care about is, do I look stupid in these? You know, like, do these look good on me? You don't really think about the comfort of the glasses, and you don't know until you get them home. And then you get them home and you're like, oh, shoot, these are too heavy, or these are too light, or these don't feel right here. And it's just, and then you can't take them back. And And it just seems to be.
Sometimes we don't worry about style. We worry about comfort.
Did y'all hear that bear? It's like this I've been hearing this grizzly bear in my room all morning. Oh, goodness. Good morning, Becky. Indentions. Yes, that's what they are. But you don't know until you get home and put them on and wear them for a couple of days. Like you wish you could say, will you do my prescription and let me wear them for a couple of days? And if I don't like them, I can bring them back. But no. Shane, they're saying good morning. Y'all know he's a teacher. And he gets Martin Luther King holiday. So he was off to begin with. But it did interrupt his hunting a little bit. So he's a little grumpy, per se. He's a grump. You can take insurance out on your glasses? I didn't know that. Hey, I will tell you something I learned. You know how I tell y'all not to follow me for hair tips or makeup tips? I'm like, don't follow me. I just do it. Well, you know, the other day I went to get my hair fixed, and she was talking to me, and she was like, Judy, I need you to only wash your hair twice a week. And I'm like, I will be a straight up grease ball. Like, I already get made fun of on my videos when my hair is a grease ball. Like, I can't do that. And she was like, you have to. Your hair is going to break off. It's not good for your hair, blah, blah, blah. And so she said, do you use dry shampoo? And I said, yes. As a matter of fact, one of my followers gave me this dry shampoo for Christmas. I said, but I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, I just hate dry shampoo. It makes my hair feel like just grimy. And she said, how do you use it? And I was like, what do you mean? How do I use it? I spray it in my hair. And she said, but like, so I wash my hair, and like the next morning I'm good. But like the next morning I'm a straight up grease bag. So that's when I use my dry shampoo. She goes, Judy, you're using your dry shampoo wrong. I said, how are you supposed to use it? She said, you put dry shampoo in your clean hair. And I was like, that makes no sense to me. And she said, dry shampoo, you wash your hair, you dry it, and then you use your dry shampoo. This is a volumizer and a thermal protectant. You put this in your clean hair because that keeps it from getting greasy. You don't put dry shampoo in your greasy hair. Did y'all know that? I said, I did not know that. I thought you did it once you want to shampoo your hair. She said, no, Judy, you put this in your clean hair, and then it keeps it from getting cheesy. I didn't know that. So follow me for more hair tips. But put your dry shampoo, if you're just following me, put your dry shampoo in your clean hair. So when I wash my hair tonight, I'll let y'all know how it goes. Okay. I got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Good morning, Jane. Do y'all know that I called? I'll tell the story in a minute. Wait till 7 o'clock. Yeah, dry shampoo makes my hair feel just crazy. But it does make sense to put it in your hair when it's clean, because then it keeps it from getting disgusting. But when you have thin hair like mine, like I have very thin hair, fine, I guess I should say, you have to wash your hair every day. And especially when you live on a farm, I'm like, do you understand the goats eat my hair? And stuff like that. Okay, we have 1 minute. Y'all have your protein drinks. Run to the bathroom. You have a minute. I really thought no one would be here today. I thought y'all'd all be in the bed snuggled up in the covers. Judy, read this. Read what? Did I miss something? Okay, I'm going to ask about insurance. I wonder if you can purchase insurance after you've purchased your glasses. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. Okay. This is going to sound really strange. Okay, but bear with me. So I got a present in the mail from a follower this past weekend or Friday. I think it was Friday. Yeah, it was Friday. I got this present in the mail from one of you. Okay. And I opened it up and I said, oh, she sent me a placemat. And it was just one placemat. And I read the card and I threw the card away and I'm so mad at myself. But the card read, okay, the follower that follows me, she's owned an alpaca farm forever. And she is very knowledgeable in alpacas. As a matter of fact, her farm was an educational farm, and she would educate about what to do with the wool and how to take care of the alpacas and the purpose of an alpaca and all that stuff. She's very, very knowledgeable. And I have learned to go to her because I trust her with any alpaca questions that I have, because I feel confident in her. So anyway, she sent me this placemat. Let me get it. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy. Okay, she sent me this right here. So I opened it up and I was like, oh, I bet that's out of alpaca wool. You know, how pretty. And I was thinking, I was trying to figure out where I was going to put this, because it's like a placemat. And I was thinking it's just one. So, where am I can't put a plate on it. So I was thinking I could put something decorative on it, and I was like, that is so sweet. I love things that are homemade. I love them. Like my stained glass. Oh, love my stained glass. So I thought that was really sweet of her. And so I was looking at it and I was looking at all the different, colors of the alpacas. And I was thinking, that looks like Georgia Lee. That looks like Rio. Anyway, so I opened the card and I read it. And this is not a placemat. Okay? This is not a placemat. This is a healing mat. And I was like, healing mat? So I began to read what she wrote to me. And she told me that she wanted me to sit on this. And I was like, okay. So this is supposed to help my spine. And in my brain, I was like, how the heck is a placemat going to help my spine? But, I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And I was like, okay, I trust her with alpaca stuff. And I was like, I'll try it. So she told me to put this in my car when I drive my dad to radiation, and it would help my spine. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. But I thought, that's a hoax. That, remember me telling you, I was watching one of my YouTube videos. I was replaying it, watching it back. And there was an ad in my YouTube video, and it was for earrings that help you lose weight. And I was like, that is hilarious. That is absolutely the funniest thing I've ever seen. And I feel like YouTube listens to me. You know how I tell you guys that I struggle with the eating disorder? It seems like every time I watch my videos back, It's like all the commercials are weight loss commercials. And I'm like, that's not funny, YouTube. Like, you're not funny. Anyway, so the earrings help you lose weight. And I just thought that was hilarious. So when she told me this was going to help my spine, I was like, she is cray. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay. But when you guys send me stuff, I'm going to try it. Like if you sent me the weight loss earrings, I did order them, by the way. And I ordered the weight loss earrings because I was like, okay, well, they, they pay, sorry, they pay me to have my videos. So the least I can do is support them and buy their weight loss earrings. Okay. I haven't got them yet, but at least I can do is do it. Right. I can do an ad for them. So on Friday, um, I don't think I got this until I got home from radiation. So I did not use this in the car. But you know how you're in so much pain, you're desperate. Okay, I was in, a bad, serious car accident in 2000. I don't remember. I broke my pelvis, I broke my back, I broke my toe. And so I have a lot of tailbone pain in addition because arthritis has set up in my tailbone. So every time I sit down, sometimes I can't stand back up because I have arthritis in my tailbone. And used to, I would have to go get injections to be able to sit down. It was awful. So I have that on top of having this. I have right now some sciatic nerve pain that is going down my right leg. And I've been going to the chiropractor. I went to the chiropractor every day last week. Okay. And he's telling me that it's from my L4 in my spine. Okay. So she sent me this. So when I got home on Friday, I was in so much pain. If y'all have not dealt with sciatic nerve pain, you're lucky because it is absolutely awful. So on Friday night, I started sitting on this. Y'all, it's working. It's working. And I'm like, how the crap does this help me with sciatic pain? But today is Monday, and last night I slept. I put this like right here and I slept on it all night. Please tell me, please explain to me how this helps my spine. And so I sent her a message and I told her, I said, I feel like this is a hoax. Like, what the heck? How is this helping my spine? But I'm telling y'all that I don't know if it's going to continue, but I feel great. I feel this is helping me so much. So I'm just telling you that I don't know I don't know if she had these made. I don't know if she bought this from some alpaca place, but we gonna sit on it while I'm doing my live, and it is helping me so much, y'all. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't know what I don't know if she put medicine in it. I don't know, but it has helped me so much. And I really feel like when I go to radiation with my dad, it is going to get me to point A to point B in the car. And I'm so thankful. Isn't that crazy? I don't understand it at all. Tony, I see you're on here. I've been meaning to message you, but Chambers doesn't always tell me I have a gift card at Chambers. And then after I've purchased the feed, I glance over there and see a big old sign that says Judy gift card. So you're going to have to tell me when you do that because they don't always tell me. I meant to tell you that and I forgot. Anyway, so that is going on. Okay, I have been let's talk about the weather here in Alabama. Okay, it started. We had flurries last night, but there's no snow. Let me look out here. There's no snow on the ground at all. But according to the radar, it's fixing to hit us, and it's going to snow all day long. So it's coming. So what I had to do yesterday, I have the barn prepared. This weekend, I put wheat straw. I put like 3 bales of wheat straw in each stall. I went and bought orchard hay for the alpacas. I put hay in there for every one of the animals. I don't normally put hay in there at night, but they're loaded up on hay and they have their wheat straw. And that wheat straw is $7 a bale. Yeah. Yeah, $7 a bale. But my animals are warm, and I put it in there with the pigs. So everybody should be nice and warm. But what I have to do is when it gets weather like this, freezing weather, I have to empty all the water containers. Kayla, you know how many water containers I have? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 11. I have 11 water containers. I have a lot of chickens, right? And I have the pigeons and that. So I have a lot. So I have to go around and I have to empty every single water container, and I have to carry the water containers into Shane's shop, because if I don't, it will freeze. So then this morning, I have 10. So then this morning, I said to Shane, we've got to go out there and do the chickens. He goes, do you have a rat in your pocket? I'm like, what? A rat? I go, why are you saying that? He goes, because you keep saying we. Joker, buggle, you helping me. So I have to go out there. And last year, when we had freezing weather, the water hoses, the actual pipe froze, and I couldn't get water out at all. Yeah. So I had to bring the containers inside my house, fill them up, and then carry them out to the chicken yard. So this morning, I have to do that. And what happens is when it's really cold outside, like within an hour, the water is frozen. So last year, Shane and I had to go out there every 30 minutes and break the ice. And that lasted for like 2 or 3 days, going out there every 30 minutes, breaking ice. It's real fun, real fun. So we've got to do that today. Hang on. I wanted to tell y'all something. So yesterday, I'm not putting my makeup on. It's not a makeup day. It is too cold for makeup, just saying. So I'm just going to sit here and chit chat with y'all with my glasses on. But you know, sometimes I don't, I can't talk and read at the same time. So yesterday I posted a picture on Facebook of Shane and I said, happiness doesn't come from your spouse. You know, happiness comes from being the best version of you. And I said, if you are depending on your spouse for your happiness, you're going to be let down. And this lady posted, that's weird. You're going to start talking about relationships instead of your animals. And I was like, did she just start following me? Like, what the heck? And so I sent her a message and I was like, are you a new follower of mine? And she said, no. And I was like, she obviously doesn't watch my videos, or she doesn't watch my lives. And so I told her, I said, every time I go live, I talk about subjects that are very hard, that people don't like to talk about. I said, that's just kind of who I am. I know that seems odd that a farm person would do that, but this is who I am. And so she said, well, it just seems strange that you would post videos like that, or you would talk on your lives about that and not talk about your animals. And then why I was bored, why I was bored, I started trying to read through my, I say bored, while I was sitting still, which I don't sit still very often. I tried to read through, messages, and because I was, the last video that I did, I think it was the last live I did was Friday, and I was talking to you guys. I was like, what makes you YouTube people watch a video? Because, like, let's look. It doesn't make sense to me. And I'm fairly new at YouTube. Okay, like for example, it says emergency call, and it says I syringe fed her all night. And I was talking about, Delta Dawn, and I have over 4,000 views on that one video. But then the video that says saying goodbye and Cinco left my farm, I only had 3.7. And I was like, what? And then some of them, I have only 2,000. And I'm like, what? Like, what makes people watch a video? Why do some people watch one video and not the other? So I began to talk about what makes you YouTube people watch videos. Is it our YouTube, or is it our thumbnails? Like, is it what we put out here? Because it's very confusing to me. Because I guess I would think that, like, if you were a Judy fan, let's just say, that you would watch every time I put a video out. But that's not the case. So I'm trying to understand, like, I'm trying to understand. So people were talking about clickbait. And if you don't know what clickbait is, it's like people bait you to click their video and watch it. Because obviously, people on YouTube, the more views you have, the more money you make on that video. So that's why people put clickbait to make you think a certain thing. And then you watch the video and you're like, it had nothing to do with what was on here. And then you're mad. So people were talking about that. So I was thinking in my head, I was thinking, okay, I want to understand what's in your brain. Like, what? And so I was reading through the comments, and I was realizing that you guys hate that. Like, you hate that. And so I was thinking in my head, I was thinking, I think it's really important to be me, to be Judy. And because what happens is, when you start building a team, and when I say team, I mean like friendships, like when you start building friendships on your page, because, like, you guys mean the world to me. Like, it's friendships that is hard to explain to someone that is not on social media. They're like, wait a minute. This lady from, wait a minute, I'll just say this. My little energy mat. Okay, well, I can't remember if it was Friday night or Saturday night. I think it was Friday night. Jane is a follower of mine. I've never met her in person a day in my life. Okay, never have. As a matter of fact, we're not even the same age, okay? But I consider Jane one of my best friends. And so Jane and I got on the phone, and I was sitting on my energy mat. Y'all, you can ask Jane. I'm not making this up. But I talked to her on the phone for 2 hours. Okay? So explaining to my best friend that I know, and I'm like, so I talked 2 hours to Jane I talk to her till 10 o'clock at night. I don't stay up till 10 o'clock at night. So obviously this is giving me energy because I stayed up till 10 o'clock at night talking to Jane. So anyway, explaining to my best friend that I've known my whole life that I have this best friend in Maine. She's like, what? What? I'm like, yeah, Jane, she's one of my best friends. And she's like, Judy, she's on social media. How do you know she's not some guru? And I'm like, I know. I know in my heart. And then I sound like some person that needs to be on Dr. Phil because it's a catfish or something. You know what I'm saying? So like it's just kind of strange, but I feel like building building a group of followers, like I feel like it's so important for me to be Judy. And part of my life is mental health because I have struggled with depression since I was in high school. That's when the depression started and it escalated. So it is very near and dear to my heart, mental health, because I've always dealt with it. Yes, I have a farm, and my farm is what helped me get to the point to where I am today. And so that is who I am. So when you see posts and you're following me for the first time and you're thinking, why is this girl putting on her makeup? Why the heck is she talking about mental health and she has I don't want to watch mental health crap. I want to watch her animals. I want to watch her interact with her animals. And when I was reading through your comments, you're like, I don't like clickbait. I don't like when they start talking about all about them and they don't show their animals and all that stuff. But I started thinking about that. And I get what you're saying. Like, I get what you're saying, but I think, like, in my head, part of having a farm is not just all, I mean, yes, it's the animals, but like, you need to see the behind the scenes because if you don't see the behind the scenes, it's not reality. Reality is not me out there smooching my animals every day and like everything is great. That's not the reality. So if you are setting up when you're watching a YouTube video, if you're setting up the expectations that all you want to see is her with Judy with her animals, I hate to break it, but that's not reality. You're setting expectations to be let down because that's not what happens. That's not what happens. In Judy's life, when I wake up in the mornings, I start off with mental health. I have to start off my day and remind myself, like, okay, today's going to be a good day. You're waking up, you're hurting all over. Like, okay, are you going to sit it out? Like, I have to encourage myself to get out of the bed. It doesn't come natural for me. It doesn't come natural to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go fix Shane's lunch. It's a choice that I had to make. You know, I told you that Shane forced me to get in a routine. Okay? I was forced. And so it's natural for me to get up and talk about mental health because I have to encourage myself every morning. I have to remind myself, if you don't get up and Shane does your chickens, you're going to be so mad because he doesn't know what to do. That's what I have to do. I have to tell myself that. So when you see Sneed's farmhouse, a part of Sneed's farmhouse in the beginning is mental health because it has to happen for me to be able to continue my day because I have people pulling in the driveway. And if I'm sideways and not feeling my best, I can't dance with these kids, I can't be upbeat. I don't wake up the same every day. I'm all over the map. Like I don't have my body and my brain doesn't work like this. My brain, I am a roller coaster. I'm hyper as crap depressed, hyper as crap depressed. Like I'm all over the map. So when you watch my farm, I feel like it's so important for you to see the whole big picture. And sometimes the whole big picture is not just Judy playing with the animals. Sometimes it's taking a rabbit to have a necropsy. It's sad. And you're like, I can't watch this video. I'm not feeling it today. I'm not feeling like crying today. I do the same thing. Mary, really? I was gonna look it up. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm going back to the Alpaca energy mat. I don't know how much they cost. They're probably expensive because Alpaca anything is expensive. But I'm telling you right now that it is a good investment. I don't understand it all, but it is a good investment. Like y'all, I have been dying of pain. I've been going to the $350. Okay, well, y'all gonna have to save up, okay? Y'all gonna have to save up and get you an energy mat. But I'm telling you, now, before you buy it, y'all check back in with me in a week, okay? Before you go pay $350 for this energy mat, check back with me in a week. Maybe we check in every week. How about that? We check in every week for a month because I don't want y'all to run out and spend $350 on this energy mat and then it's a dud. But just know that I'm gonna tell you, since Friday, my life physically has totally changed since this mat came in my life. I'm able to sit down and not be in pain. And it's the craziest thing to me. Like it sounds like witchcraft or something. It does not make sense to me at all. It doesn't. But we'll check back in next week. So don't y'all go spend, unless you just got an extra $350 in your pocket. Maybe it's your birthday and you got birthday money. Go ahead and buy it. But check back in with me before you buy it. But anyway, my page is just I want it to be as real as possible. When I'm live today, and if you were to talk to me on the phone, I want to be the same person. I want to be the same person. And if you are just following me for the first time and you're hearing me live for the first time, we talk about real life stuff. I share a lot of my past and how I've gotten to where I am today. And I do that in hopes to help someone else, because sometimes the things that I talk about are very uncomfortable, because it's not really something that you can say out loud because you feel embarrassed or you feel like you're all alone. And so I talk about real things. I talk about addiction. I talk about depression. I talk about how to deal with breaking things down when you have an argument with someone, how to break it down to figure out what they're really trying to say to you. I talk about all those things in my live videos, and I realize it has nothing to do with farming, but it does have something to do with farming because it's what I have to do to go farm. So in my situation, that's why I do what I do. Debbie Rudy, she knew my whole family, my grandmother, and she probably remembers me when I was a little kid because she went to church with my grandmother. But anyway, so I have been writing down as things come to my mind about things that I'm going through, and I have like little highlights of things to talk about. Um, I did, Kayla and I this weekend were together, and I did a video, and I am not good at doing videos early. Shane calls me Trigger. Okay. Y'all know my nickname is Trigger, and he calls me Trigger because I pull the trigger fast. I'm not one to sit around and think about it. I just do it. And when I do it, it either works or it doesn't work. Like I'm gonna make it work, but I pull the trigger real fast. And so um hang on, let me go back to it. What the heck? There it goes. So Kayla and I did the video. I made the video yesterday, and it's for Tuesday, and I'm dying to post it. I am dying to post it. And I'm like, Judy, you've got to wait till Tuesday. And I'm like, but I don't want to wait till Tuesday. It's like my brain's going, just post it now. And I'm like, but if I post it now, I don't have a video to post Tuesday. Does not work well for me at all. Like a lot of creators, they have their videos ahead of time, like maybe a week in advance in case they're sick or in case um they're going on vacation or something like that. And I can't do that. I've tried and it doesn't work well for me. I have to stay current. cannot cannot do that. So if I ever go on vacation, y'all just have to go on vacation with me because I can't pre-do things. It doesn't work in my favor. Um let me how what is I'm having a brain crazy. What is the girl's name that killed her mother that just got out of jail? I can't think of her name. Y'all tell me her name. Come here, cutie.
What?
Let him see your cute face.
I hear you.
Look how cute he is, y'all. When he wears this little hat right here, Gypsy Rose. When he wears this little hat right here, it's my favorite time. I think he looks the cutest in that little hat. Do you think so? Any cute in that hat?
I hear you. Hey, Brenda. I hear you.
Gypsy Rose. Do you know about Gypsy Rose?
I don't know anything about Gypsy. I can't spell Gypsy Rose.
Shane and I do not watch TV. If the news is not on Facebook, we have no idea. We're not watching the football games. Like, in the South, football games are real. We're not even watching the Alabama Auburn game. Like, we do not watch the news. Our TV turns on one time, and it's for about 30 minutes of hunting. What's this channel?
Outdoor channel.
That we do the outdoor channel for about 30 minutes before we go to bed, and that is the only time we turn on the TV. It does not get turned on here at our house. Why are we like that? I've never been like that till I met you.
I ain't got time to stay in the house and watch TV.
I was always wanting to watch sitcoms at night. Like, I was a Big Brother fan. Buddy, listen, I did not miss one episode of Big Brother. American Idol, I was all over it. Like, those, I used to watch them every single night. And now I don't even turn on the TV. Like, Shane's totally changed me. Okay, I want to talk about Gypsy Rose. Do y'all want to talk about her? So I don't turn on the TV, so I didn't really know her story, right? I didn't really know her story. And so, when she created social media and she was all over the news. And so I had to go figure out, I was like, well, who is this lady? I didn't even know who she was. So I had to go watch a little bit of her story to understand. So I wanted to ask you guys, okay, if you don't know her story, I'm sure you all do. Do y'all? Is there anybody on here that doesn't know her story? I'm just gonna wait for y'all to answer for a minute. Okay. You don't know her story or you do know her story? Okay, you don't know her story. Okay. This young girl, um, this young girl, she from the time she was small, her mother was taking her to the doctor and like saying all this stuff was wrong with her. And that she was convincing the doctors like that there were serious problems. Like this little girl ended up being wheelchair bound. Um, she had a feeding tube because her mom said she couldn't swallow. She convinced the doctors that her Vera, maybe you can help me add to the story. But her mom had convinced all these doctors that she had, I think she had cerebral palsy and she couldn't swallow. And like it was bad. And basically, to make a long story short, her mom made all this up. Well, when Gypsy got to the age where she realized what was happening, that she could walk, she got to the point where oh yeah, she said that she was having seizures and cancer, like and her mom was getting money, like, kinda like it would be like me going, "Y'all, I have I have ovarian cancer, and I need y'all to help me pay my medical bills, and all you guys are sending me all this money, and I don't have ovarian cancer." You know what I'm saying? That's what her mom was doing. She was, I guess, getting money from all these big places, and they were donating to help raise Gypsy. And so her mom was using Gypsy as a way to create a large amounts of money, and it was working for her. It was working for her. Okay. Well, when Gypsy got to the age where she realized what her mom was doing, she plotted to have her mom killed. Okay. Like, and her mom, she had her mom killed. And so then she went to jail for it. Okay. So I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about how Gypsy couldn't come out and say what was going on. First of all, it's because she was a child. But do you know, there are situations where you are an adult. And let's just say you're in domestic violence and your husband beats the crap out of you for no apparent reason at all. Okay. Shane, we don't need to fight. So there's me and him are fixing to fight, and I will tear him to pieces. So anyway, sorry. But so there's people that are, and maybe it's one of you out here that are watching right now, but you're in domestic violence where your husband verbally or physically abuses you, or maybe it's your wife that verbally or physically abuses you, and you don't say nothing about it. You just keep your mouth shut. And I thought when I was watching Gypsy Rose's documentary, I was like, what makes, like, when this little girl, let's just say she's 11 years old and she's in a wheelchair and she's going to, let's just say, physical therapy, what made her be quiet and say, I can walk? Like, what makes someone like that? And I had this flashback of me when I was in high school. I dated this guy. Now he never hit me, like he never like punched me out or caused a bruise or anything like that. But I remember I had gone to the beach and I had third-degree burns all over my chest. I had these water blisters, like I was burnt bad, bad. And after I got back from the beach, I went over to his house. And if you know what water blisters are, they're like these blisters that have like water in them and it's from a burn. So I had them all over my chest. So I came out from the beach and I went over to my boyfriend's house. And he got his hand and he thought it was funny. He got his hand and he hit me right here to bust those water blisters. And it caused me so much pain. It was unbelievable because he just slapped that burn. And I can remember I was so mad. I was so mad, but I never left his house and I never told my mother. And I continued to date him. But in my brain, I knew something was not right. Like I knew like him doing that to me was like something wasn't jiving. But I just kept my mouth shut and continued on as if it never happened. And I was thinking about Gypsy Rose, and I was thinking about women that are in domestic violence or men that are in domestic violence. And I was thinking, what causes a person, what caused me, or what causes a person to allow that to happen? And I think it's because it happens one time and then you're like, this ain't gonna happen. You know how you like, okay, he hit me right here. That will not happen again. You hear me? Like, like you're mad and you're like, you will never lay your hand on me again. Like you do that. You think that in your head. And then the next thing you know, like it'll happen again. And then you say it again all over again. Like you laid your hand on me before, but you're not laying your hand on me again. And then the perpetrator, will say, well, it's because you did this. You caused me to lose my crap. You caused me anger. You caused me to react that way. You were being ugly and you caused me to slap you. So the person that does it says, you triggered me and you caused me anger. So then what does it do to the person that got hit? He's right. I had my finger in his face, or I was in his face yelling at him, and I caused that. So then that person believes that they deserve that because maybe you did. Maybe you did get in his face because he was or she was cussing at you. And so when the person was cussing at you, you got in their face and it caused them to knock the pee out of you. You know what I'm saying? So you in your brain goes, I deserve that. I was the cause of this. But see, and I feel like that is the reason that people are quiet. Now, I know from my own personal experience, I can't remember. I was in high school when that happened. I don't remember us getting into an argument. He did it because he thought it was funny. He thought it was funny to pop those blisters on my chest. And I was thinking in my head, it wasn't nothing funny about that at all. But what caused me not to go home and go, Mom, this guy just laid his hands on me. I need to get out of this situation. What caused me to go back and pretend like nothing happened? And I feel like in my head, it was because he was laughing and he wasn't hitting me to be mean per se. He thought it was a joke. So then I processed that in my head as, well, he didn't hit me. He just was trying to be silly. So I went back. So I was just thinking about the whole Gypsy Rose, and I was listening to it, and that prompted me to think about it, and it prompted me to want to talk about it, because so many times men, I mean, women are just as bad as men. Women think they can go around slapping a man and not get hit back. You know what I'm saying? There's women like that do that, and what causes them to get to that point? That woman is like, well, the reason I slapped the crap out of you is because you did this and you did this and you did this and you said this and blah, blah, blah. And then that person was like, oh yeah, I did. I called her a bad name. So then I deserve to get the crap beat out of me. And it's just in my head, I'm like, I feel like this is something that needs to be talked about, because so many people, I feel like, go through this and they don't talk. They're like Gypsy Rose, and they don't say anything. And then what happens is, like Gypsy Rose, she dealt with it and she dealt with it and she dealt with it and dealt with it. And then she was so angry and wanted to, instead of saying, I need this to stop, the only way she could say, I need this to stop, is to kill her mother. You see what I'm saying? And I don't think, probably deep down inside, she really wanted to go to the point of murder, but I feel like she probably didn't know what else to do to stop her mother, because she had so much anger for the way she was raised. I mean, can you imagine your mom pretending like you have cancer and pretending like you can't walk, and you have, as a child, you can't go out and play kickball because your mom has you in a wheelchair? I mean, you gotta get to the point. I will say, I was married for 15 years, and when my husband had an affair and left me for that little girl, um, in my brain, there was a moment of, of non-reality, of going, I want to hurt her, or I want to hurt him. But I mean, obviously, I didn't do that. But like, for a quick second there, you're in so much pain that you're like, you want it to stop. And the only way you know to stop is to think, I hope something bad happens to them. I hope they literally fall off a cliff, because you're in so much pain and hurt, and you can't believe that it's gotten to this point where, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes you snap out of reality when those things happen, and it causes you to do things that you wouldn't normally do. So I'm just going to say this. If you're in domestic violence, or you're a mother that has some type of depression that causes you to take that depression onto your children, and you feel like your children are sick all the time because you don't know how to say you're sick because you have depression. And I don't know if that makes sense to everyone. It probably, for someone who doesn't deal with that makes absolutely no sense to us, right? It makes no sense that a mother would pretend like their child has cancer and can't walk, and put them into a wheelchair her whole life. That doesn't make sense to you and I, because we don't fight that type of illness. Like, me and you are not so desperate for money that we would pretend like our child has cancer to collect money. We don't work like that. That doesn't make sense to us. But for someone like Gypsy Rose's mother, that makes sense to her, because sometimes when you do something a little wrong and you get away with it, then you try it again, and then you got away with it, and then you keep doing it again because you got away with it until it explodes and you find yourself in jail. Like, okay, like, I don't know, let me think of a situation. You sell drugs. So you sell drugs, and then you get away with it, and you get a load of money. And that love of money, God talks about that in the Bible, right? That's a sin. Love of money is a sin. And us as human beings, even myself, I am not out of this equation. Even myself, sometimes when you get quick money, it gives you a rush, and it gives you a sense of power, because all of a sudden, when you have a couple $1,000s in your pocket, you feel good about yourself. If you feel powerful, you feel unstoppable. And that little bit of money, you you don't think about the consequence. In the back of your mind, you think about consequences a little bit. Like, I could go to jail for this. I could literally ruin my entire career. I could get fired for this. If my employer knew, say you're a doctor, and you're like, oh my gosh, if my our cop, if the police knew that I was selling drugs, I would lose my job and my career, and I would lose everything around me. Like, that's in the back of your mind, because we're not stupid, right? But when you do it a little bit and you don't get caught doing it, well, then what happens? You do it again. And then you're like, whew, I got a lot of money in my pocket. And then you just keep doing it. And next thing you know, 20 years have passed, and you've been doing this for 20 years, and consequences back there, but you're like, I'll never get caught. I've done it for 20 years. I'll never get caught doing this because I've done it for and Shane and I were talking about this morning. I talk about addiction a lot because of my family. Okay. And this morning, it's freezing cold outside. And I just, my brain was going to my brother. If you don't know, my brother is an addict. My brother is homeless. My brother chose addiction. So when I think about people selling drugs, I get really angry, because you have a love of quick money, but you don't know what you're doing to my brother and other families. You're destroying them. You're destroying families all over the world when you do that. So for me, because I don't fight addiction, it's easy for me to say that, right? Because I don't understand, because I don't deal with it. But this morning, I woke up and my heart was just breaking, because I was like, my brother's out there cold. Where is he? Is he under the interstate? I just my heart was just breaking for the homeless this morning. I thought about what are the homeless people doing? What Here I am in the warmth of my house with covers on me, with my husband beside me. And what are the people that are homeless? What are they doing today? And it makes me want to get in the car and drive to Birmingham, where the homeless are under the interstate, and hand out blankets and have a conversation with them about life. That's what it makes me want to do. Because can you just think for just a second? You don't deal with domestic violence, or you don't deal with homelessness, or you don't deal with addiction. Imagine just a minute about the addicts that are out there that have ruined their life and are on the streets today. And imagine when it's your family member, it's your child that is on the streets, or it's your brother or mother or father that's on the streets. And see, in your brain, your and my brain and your brain, like, our brains are like, it's like, let's just say that you take, let's say you drink alcohol, well, I just drink alcohol. I don't do heroin. I'm not that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to happen to me. I'm not going to be homeless. I'm too smart for that. I'm not going to jail. Yes, I do this, but I'm not going to jail for this. I hit my husband or hit I won't go to jail. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Because it's not going to happen to us, right? It's happening to the people we don't know. It's not going to happen to us. No, not us. I've got this. Like, I've got this under control. I've done this for years and years and years. Like, it is good. I'm not going to jail. But at the end of the day, we know right from wrong, right? We know right from wrong. And at the end of the day, it's you that have to answer to yourself, you know? And if I'm going back to domestic violence, if you're in a situation where it's hard for you to talk about it because it's happened for so long, and let's just say that that person was the breadwinner and you've always stayed home and you're like, well, I can't leave. I don't have money. I don't have a home. I'm stuck with this. I have to deal with this abuse because I'm 55 and I've always gotten the crap beat out of me, and I don't talk about it because basically because I have nowhere to go. Do you know, like, when I opened Sneed's Farmhouse and I got women's shelters here, it was hard for me in my brain because I've never really dealt with it to think there are women out here that are stuck, that can't get out and feel like they have nowhere to go. I mean, do you really want to take your baby to a women's shelter? Do you really want to raise your baby in a women, like, that's what your brain goes. Your brain goes, I can't leave. I don't work and I don't have income and I have a baby. I have 2 babies and I can't leave. I really can understand, like, Gypsy Rose. I really can understand, like, for a child, how she wasn't able to talk about it because she was brainwashed. But even as an adult, you're brainwashed because you can't talk about it because you feel like you have nowhere to go. And when this facility came to my farm, and these women and these kids that live in a shelter, when they left here, I broke down because I was like, oh my gosh, it's right here. It's happening right here. And you just don't realize it because people don't talk about it. These are hard subjects to talk about. It's hard for you to go, hey, I am getting beat, and this bruise, I did not fall. Like, you know what I mean? It's hard to talk about that stuff. But I'm just, I have watched a couple of women rebuild their lives, including, dang, I have an aunt. Ugh. I've watched my own self rebuild my life. And it was I had to go to counseling and talk about how to leave my husband. Yeah. Because in my brain, I thought he's the best thing that's ever happened to me. That's what I thought. And so I was afraid to leave because my kids would get upset, or, you know, like, I would take it was just awful. And I had to go learn that I could do it by myself because I thought, and y'all, I was the breadwinner of the family. And I thought I couldn't do it by myself. So can you imagine, for a stay-at-home mom, how she feels? Because here I am, the breadwinner of the family, and I think I can't afford it. I think I can't leave and do it on my own. You see how that's brainwashed? But for a woman or a man that stays home with their kids and has never worked, imagine her trying to leave. Where's she going to go? You see what I'm saying? So it can be difficult, but I just thought about Gypsy Rose, and I just thought about her feeling like she wanted to plot to kill her mother. I mean, even though it's crazy, but like I kind of get it. You know, I would like to hear the whole. I didn't get to hear the whole documentary. I would like to hear the whole thing, but can you imagine the crap she went through as a child? Can you imagine?
Imagine the crap I go through. Oh, I'm sorry. What was it?
That bear just keeps showing up. I don't know what to tell you. It keeps showing up. But anyway, it's 8:00. If you, first of all, if you're able, let me look outside. It's not snowing. If you're able to help a homeless person, sometimes when, let's say you're driving up at Walmart or something and someone's on the side of the street holding a sign that says we'll work for food, or I'm starving, if you feel led, I remember this one time, Larry and I were in Huntsville, and we were at Sam's in Huntsville. I don't know if y'all are from Huntsville, but right there at Sam's, it's like the homeless people just hang out. And Larry loves crystals. Oh, he loves crystals. So I was taking him to crystals, and there was this young kid. I'm going to say he was in his 20s. He was sitting on the corner at crystals. And he wasn't asking for money, and he wasn't asking for food. And I drove past him, and I saw him sitting there, and all I could see is that was my kid. And I was thinking in my head, that's someone's kid. That is some mother's kid, father's kid. And I was going to go through the drive-through, and I just couldn't do it. So I pulled in the parking lot, and I just sat and stared at him for a minute, and tears are just running down my face because all I kept thinking about was his mother. That's all I kept thinking about was his mother. And I was like, his mother is dying inside. She is literally dying inside, wondering how to fix her kid. And she has no idea what to do. She's probably tried everything under the sun, and she's probably like kicked him out and said, I can't deal with it anymore, in hopes that he'll recover. That's all I kept thinking about. I got out of the car, and Larry was like, what are you about to do? I said, I'm walking over to this little boy. He's little, 20. And he's like, Judy, don't do that. You're going to get hurt. Don't do that. And I said, Larry, sit right here. I'm doing that. And I walked over there, and I sat beside him. I said, hey, I'm Judy. And he said, hey, I'm Jacob. And I said, how can I help you? And he just started bawling. And he's like, my mother hates me. I said, no, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. I said, are you hungry? He said, yes. I said, come on, let's go eat lunch. So me and him went into Crystal's, and we ate lunch. And I said, I'm going to keep my mouth shut, and if you need to talk, you talk. And he began to tell me that he didn't know where to start. And if you can imagine someone that's living on the street and they want help, like they have no money, they have no card, like you can't just walk into rehab with no money. You see what I'm saying? You have nothing. And I sat there and I said, I don't know the answers. I don't fight what you fight, but I do fight other addiction. And I understand how hard it is. But only person that can control this is you. But I've learned that when you have people like that, you send them to the Salvation Army or Jimmy Hill Mission. That's what ours is called. You send them there because that's where they have to start. And so I encouraged him to go to the Salvation Army because he didn't need money and start. Now, whether he did that or not, I don't know. But I left there just, I don't know, when I see people like that, I don't necessarily feel sorry for that him. All I can think about is his mother. That's all I can think about. You know what I'm saying? That's his mother. Like, his mother is dying inside. You know? If you are a victim of domestic violence, whether you're a man or a woman, I hope today that you will reach out for help. There are shelters out there. It seems crazy that you would leave and go to a shelter, but I promise you that's a step in the right direction. And sometimes we stay quiet because we don't want to cause a ruckus, or we don't want to cause our child to lose their mother or father or whatever. But in order to move forward, you have to take one step forward. And what seems the impossible, because it seems like, but how am I going to get a job? How am I going to take care of my kids? How am I going to do this? Instead of saying, how am I going to do this? Just do it. You know the Nike saying, just do it? You got to just do it. You got to do it. There is a life out there for you. There is. And don't be like Gypsy Rose and get to the point where you do something stupid. And if you keep taking it, you're going to do something stupid because you're going to want to get out of it, and it's going to cause you to make wrong choices. The right choice is to get on the phone and call a shelter. There are women's shelters. Call. If you don't know a number, Google women's shelter near me and call and go, I need help. It's the first step in the right direction to change your life. But don't be like Gypsy Rose and get to the point where you make dumb choices in life. Because I tell you, every single live, at the end of the live, I tell you that you have choices in life, right? Sitting it out is to continue to allow that domestic violence to happen to you. That is sitting it out. Dancing is taking the first step and calling a shelter and go, I am a woman of domestic violence and I don't know what to do and I need to get out. That is dancing. That is dancing for your children. That is dancing for you. And it is amazing. Instead of looking at that one step going, oh my gosh, I'm fixing to take my children to a domestic violence. To a shelter. Look at the long-term picture. One day you're going to be able to tell your story to many women that are just like you. And you're going to help save lives. You're a walking testimony to so many people. Instead of looking at it like, I have nowhere to go, I can't get out, I don't have a job, I don't have insurance. Stop. Take the step. Today, I hope you dance. I hope you take that step and get out. I hope you do. And this is the first time I've ever talked about domestic violence. And I hope that I said something to someone that needs help, because there is help out there. There is. All right, guys. I got to go do water. Got to go do water. and take care of these animals. Guys, I love you so much, and I will see you Wednesday morning, and I hope that you continue to dance. I will see you next time.